Gentlemen, I want to thank you both at this point. We are out of time for questions. I think you've both given the voters a good look at your candidacies. At this point, we want to turn now to closing statements. At the beginning of the hour, I had explained to you that we rolled dice to see who would get the first question. We repeated that process. We rolled dice to see who would get the first and the second closing statements. Mr. LaVallee, both you and Mr. Kelly will have 2 minutes for your closing statements, and you will go first.
As I've had the chance to tour the district, I hear from folks that they want better. They want to do better. Because we all want our kids someday to be able to go after the American dream like we all have. Now it's my generation that's going to bear the brunt of these decisions. And that's why we must reverse course right now. Reverse course and stand up for working American families. Not just when it's convenient or politically expedient, but always. I've had the chance to talk to folks who've been hurt by a broken Washington. I'll tell you what, my grandmother tells me a little bit of a different story. She's a proud woman, ran a small bakery for about 60 years, and I helped take care of her now she's had some health issues as she's grown older. She tells me about her generation, a generation that cut its teeth on the Great Depression, came of age during the Second World War. And she tells me, honey, we sent leaders to serve. We didn't send leaders to be obstructionists. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because it's time to reinforce those values that built the highway and infrastructure system, that allowed our country to flourish, that protected veterans, that came home they could get an education. But to me, it starts with Democrats and Republicans working together. And the congressman went to Washington saying he would stand up for us. But he's done anything but. He said he didn't have time to talk to voters, didn't have time to glad hand meet with us. Because people in Washington were doing good work, and he's going to run on his record. Now, I don't know how we all think of good work, but Mr. Kelly thinks that it's raising taxes on middle-class families and cutting them on the wealthiest. He thinks that good work is cutting education, cutting Head Start, cuts to teachers, classroom technology, and Pell Grants. Now, we know that's not good work. Now, we know that's not how you invest in our future. It's time to stand up for working families right now. Invest in job training, increase research and investment in our natural gas industry, and stand up to big corporations that have been shipping our jobs overseas. Now it's time for new leadership. It's time for new leadership now to get our economy moving again. We can't be 50th any longer in job creation. We must move forward now and in the future. And it'd be an honor to earn your vote. Thank you for spending time with us. I'm very grateful. Sean, thank you for moderating this debate and being an honor to have your support on Tuesday.
Thank you, Sean. And again, thanks to WQON. You know, there is a huge difference between the two of us, and it has nothing to do with our age. It actually has to do with our experience. We have a young guy who says, you know, I want to go and try this stuff. You have another person who's actually spent his entire life in the workforce. The reason I ran for Congress is because Washington actually tried to take a family business away from me. So I went and I fought and I got it back. I have worked tirelessly, and when you talk about raising taxes, Dan, you either don't understand the tax code or you just choose to use a different narrative, and I won't let you get away with that. The only people that got raised their taxes was the 1%. The 99% of people, and this has never happened before, even when President Bush was in office and had the majority to work with, we never ever made those taxes permanent. We have protected middle income and lower income people. They didn't see a raise in their taxes. That's false on your part. Trade agreements, you can't point to one trade agreement that we have been involved in that's cost any jobs. On the contrary, I have worked tirelessly to keep Lord in Erie, to work with GE to make sure that jobs are kept here and that we're able to sell locomotives around the world. We actually do that stuff for them. We've worked on Great Lakes issues. We've worked with our vo-tech schools and our four-year schools to make sure that our students graduate, not with just a degree and a lot of debt, but a hope for the future. Now, you can say what you want to say about what you want to do, but the actuality of it is, I have actually done everything that I've talked about. It's not a talking point with me. It's how I live my life. It's how I've raised my family. I've served on a school board. I've served on a city council. I've served on industry boards. I have done everything I could, including housing authorities and redevelopment authorities in my town. I just don't walk around with my head in the stars thinking, this is what I like to do. I have actually done it. Now, when you talk about my voting record, please be honest about it. Don't make something up that's not true. You said I voted to raise taxes on people? That is an absolute falsehood. We try to make things better for people, and that's my whole focus, and that's what I've done, Sean, for 4 years.
I'm afraid our time is up. We hope, of course, that the past hour has been a great help to you as you look to make an informed decision in next Tuesday's election. By all means, get out and vote. I would like to thank our candidates Republican Mike Kelly, and Democrat Dan LaVallee for taking part in tonight's debate. I'm Sean Lafferty. For all of us at WQLN Public Media, thank you for joining us. Good night.